All right, welcome everybody back to the Red Zone Faction. Today is March 10th, Friday, 2017, day 2 of free agency. It's currently about 8 o'clock in the morning, so not a lot's happened on day 2, so we'll just go over what happened yesterday and check today's headlines. Yesterday, not a whole lot of huge news. Of course, my Eagles racked up pretty well. I think we not to be biased, but I think we yesterday was our day. Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith. I thought that was two great pickups. I'm happy. I got a little worried, but I thought maybe we would stop there because that's typically what we do. Turn a number 2 or 3 receiver into a number 1 and expect everything to work out. Really glad they went hard after, and then the 1-year deal for $14 million, not that big of a deal. It's an insurance policy as far as I'm concerned. He has been suspended twice for PEDs, and he has an injury, and he's injury prone. So you give him 1 year, he has no choice but the ball out of control next year, Alshon Jeffrey, and if not, then okay, that's okay too. I was still kind of hoping we'd take a receiver early. But with those 2 picks, I'd actually like to see us go after a Dalvin Cook in the first round and take a corner in the second. Get us a running back to grow with Wentz. All right, enough Eagle talk. Other moves that happened yesterday, there was a huge trade between Houston and Cleveland. I'm still trying to figure out. I have read this thing through and through, and to me, I guess it makes sense. But it makes sense from a Houston point of view. They got rid of a huge contract they didn't need. It was the worst contract in NFL history, a lot of people are saying. So they get rid of Osweiler. I understand that. That makes sense, I guess. And they free up some cap space. And I guess they're making room for Romo. I don't know, but they've come out and said they're not trading for Romo. So is Denver. So I guess they don't want to get in a bidding war, and I think that was what Dallas Jerry Jones was trying to do. And that's just not going to work because everybody knows at the end of the day, if they can't, Tony Romo's going to get cut. And they know that. They're not going to give up something if they can get him for free. It just doesn't make any sense. And apparently, the Browns are going hard after Jimmy Garoppolo. And that was part of that trade deal. It was all over NFL Network. That is what the Browns have in mind. They have no plans on keeping the quarterback they just traded for. The one that hurts it is Osweiler. But you know what? I mean, he stunk it up last year. That's why these quarterbacks, they have, these quarterbacks that come out of nowhere and they have good years. You gotta take it very carefully because you really don't know what you're getting. I mean, there's no film on these guys. It's like Dak Prescott from the Cowboys last year. No disrespect, but you know me. And I respect him. He's an SEC quarterback. I thought he was great at Mississippi State. I thought he was, that he gave Bama fit sometimes. So I respect him for his skill. I just don't think that what you saw last year was, he had so much, that Dallas offensive line, and I don't say this much out loud, so I'll only say it once, they have the best offensive line in the country, especially as far as pass protection. They really helped him out last year. So we'll see what happens this year. But with quarterbacks like that, they just have this one good year. You don't really know. Like, year 2 is so crucial because you don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes if you set them up for success and you pay them more than you should, you're probably going to pay for it in the long run. I think Deshaun leaving Washington going to hurt Washington tremendously. He wasn't that big of a deal there like he was in Philly, but you don't understand what a player means to a team until they're gone. What he did for them, you just don't see it until they're gone. And with Pierre Garçon leaving too, looks like he's going to end up in San Francisco. with his old offensive coordinator. Nothing's happened today yet. Like I said, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. So nothing's happened at this point for today. Day 2 has not really got off the ground yet. Super excited about day 1. The Saints re-signed Fairley, which I thought was interesting. People are super happy about Deshaun in Tampa. I think that was a great move for Tampa. You put him on the other side of Mike Evans. If Jameis can do it, I think he can. Tampa's making a very strong statement in the NFC South to the Saints, and all 3 of those other teams have made playoffs and made runs recently, with New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina obviously going to the Super Bowl year before, Atlanta going to the Super Bowl this past year. Tampa just made a huge statement. I think they can they gave Jameis another weapon, which is exactly what I think he needed. I think they re-signed their tight end too, Cameron Brake. So I mean, he's getting weapons. They are loading him up, and I think as long as that defense holds those other high-powered offenses in check, Tampa is a team to watch out for next year and the next couple of years. Let's hop over to ESPN. ESPN's a little bit more dramified. I said it a couple podcasts ago. It's diluted. But it really is. It's sad what ESPN has become. But you still can go there and get solid information about your NFL and college. College with ESPN is a little bit different. I do tend to stay away from ESPN when it comes to college ball. They are. I know I make fun of the NFL network. ESPN by calling them the Cowboys Network. Dude, when it comes to college football, it's so bad I can't watch it. I hate that they have every game. Any game that's worth a flip is on ESPN in college football, and it drives me nuts. I hate that they bought up the market. It drives me crazy. The analysts that are on doing the broadcast are not good. Half of them have no idea what they're talking about. It's a bad product, and they own all of it. They buy every major game there is, and I don't want to watch. I mute it. A lot of times I'm watching it. I just mute the TV. I don't want to hear what they're saying because they're it's bad. It's really, really, really bad, and it's diluted, and they're very biased. It's all Ohio State. It's all USC. They're the darlings of the deal. But Ohio State chit chatter, Big Ten chit chatter, it's the Cowboys of the NFL. It's exactly the college football. That's exactly what it is. Which is fun, everybody, SEC. Well, yeah, for the longest time over the last decade, we have ran it. With the exception of years here and there. Don't get me wrong. Last year, the last year or two, we've had a sudden emergence back from the Big Ten with Ohio State, with Harbaugh going to Michigan. Outside of those 2 schools and a Penn State, Cinderella season last year, who else in that conference is worth anything? And the SEC had a down year last year. I want to see what LSU's going to do. I don't expect them to be down. LSU's got a good program. You can't sleep on any of them. The East is our thorn. The East needs to get it together, seriously. But I think they will. I think Georgia will come up with smart. I think you give McElwain a little bit of time in Florida. McElwain's already been to 2 SEC championship games in his 2 years as head coach. Florida's going to be fine. Tennessee we thought was going to emerge last year, but Tennessee turned back into Tennessee, which, don't get me started on Tennessee. We'll be there in a minute. And then they're going to fall horribly this year. I don't expect a good season out of them in 17, even though people are already blowing them up. They are not going to be good next year. But anyway, back to the ESPN. Oh boy, did I go off on a rant there. Well, I will do when we get closer to college football, we got the A-Day games, both Auburn and Alabama, coming up in April. I will definitely be on some college football, and y'all will enjoy my rants on that, especially if you're a Bama fan. You other fans, not so much. I'm not gonna sit here and bash Auburn. I'm not gonna do that. Just for you Auburn fans that are watching my show, I'm not gonna sit here and just bash Auburn. That's not what I do. I'm not one of those Bama fans. You start running your mouth and talking tickety, we got issues. To borrow a word from my son. See, the Browns got a second-round pick out of that Osweiler trade, dude. Do you see how loaded the Browns are in the draft the next 2 years? They are loaded with draft picks. And what's scary is they're going to pile all these draft picks up and offer them to Belichick. So the Patriots are going to end up, that just won the Super Bowl, the Patriots are going to rack up with all these draft picks for Garoppolo if they go that route. If they decide Garoppolo is worthy of this and they trade him off and they know that Brady's got another couple years, I just don't know about that. I think I hold on to Jimmy G. But if they decide to go that route, New England is going to be loaded with draft picks. It's like they win again. You just won a Super Bowl, and you're going to be loaded with draft picks. And these are early draft picks. These aren't late draft picks. These are early draft picks. These are all in the first and second round. You got to be kidding me. I think they said they had 8 draft picks in the first and second round over this year and next year. 8. Wow. Well, it looks like that's day 1. I will be back on here. Let's see, today's Friday. My son has the flu, so I don't think I'll be back on here over the weekend. If anything exciting happens, if anything that's crazy happens, I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday. I'll say it again, if you haven't seen our interviews with Corey and Fam, please check that out. There's a spoiler at the end. What people don't know is there's a spoiler at the end. Say a spoiler. There's a goof at the end of that video. So when you see my logo come up with my face on it when the show's over, don't X out yet. Follow it all the way through to the very end, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you'll know why I'm smiling. Just turn your volume up because it's kind of hard to hear, but D's hoot. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Like I said, I may be back this weekend if something crazy happens, something out of the ordinary that's got everybody in a hoorah. I'll come back. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend. This is Scott Wilson. This is the Red Zone Faction. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.